Jess, for anybody that doesn't know Parenting for Faith, who are you and what are you passionate about right now?
So I'm Jess and I work for Parenting for Faith, and Parenting for Faith exists to equip parents and carers in making sure that their children meet and know God in their everyday. And my job is the exciting bit. Obviously, I have the best job. But my job is to work with dioceses and churches, specifically in the Church of England at the moment, around making sure that people have the resources that they need.
And we're super excited to be working with you.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit more about the Deeper Rooted Lasted programme that's recently been released by Parenting for Faith.
Yeah, so Parenting for Faith has always been focused around parents and carers being the primary disciplers of their children and teenagers. And then the bit that we thought that was missing that we wanted to really get is around resourcing churches in that approach. So Deeper Rooted Lasting is basically there to equip church leaders, kids volunteers, youth pastors, everybody who's working in some way with children and young people or who want to work more, and encouraging them to start prioritizing parents and carers, because we recognize that children and young people tend to age out of programs or events or anything like that. And so the reason why it's called Deeper Rooted Lasting is we want our kids and teenagers to have a deeper faith that is rooted in the Bible and the community and in a relationship with God. And then we want it to last a lifetime. We don't just want bums on seats. We want our children and teenagers to have a real relationship with God that will last them into their teenage years and into their adult life.
Amazing. And, we had Parenting for Faith at our Children's Ministry Conference a few years ago, which was incredible. And it was so good for our children's workers and leaders to hear about Parenting for Faith. But I think some of them were left thinking, well, I'm not a parent, so what does this look like for me? So this is a great next step for those people that love Parenting for Faith but wanted to know how to use it in their church context. So how then, tell us a little bit more about how the programme connects faith at home with what happens in church.
I know how important Sundays are. Sundays are the event, aren't they? They're the place where we're all gathered together. But Deeper Rooted Lasting and the Parenting for Faith approach kind of takes it away from the Sunday. Like, what happens when kids go to school on a Monday? What happens when teenagers have an argument with their friend and they don't know what to do? It's kind of taking the things that we learn on a Sunday, the togetherness of the Sunday, and then being able to do the everyday life for the rest of the week.
Yeah. Amazing. And how does the programme equip churches without creating lots of extra work? Because we know that everybody is short of time. Lots of people are reliant upon volunteers who might be working and have got other commitments. So how does all that work?
Yeah, we recognise that, church life is busy. People don't have a spare £35,000 a year for a youth pastor. And so the Church of England have very generously allowed us to work with dioceses. So we're working with your diocese for a year. So that means that we can partner together to work out and resource churches just to make like a tiny little tweak. Like, you don't need to make an event. You don't need to create this whole new program for children and teenagers. It's basically saying, whatever you're doing, where can you take that focus and prioritize parents and carers? How can you resource parents and carers to do the bits at home? And that's even if you have no children or teenagers. You will have grandparents in your church potentially. So we've got resources for grandparenting for faith. There are children and young people in every community, whether they walk into our church buildings or not. And so it's looking at where you are, what you've already got, and just making a little tweak just to prioritize parents and carers. It's really simple.
I think that's what people need, isn't it? They don't want a huge programme, a huge resource, something that's going to take up lots of their time and energy. So I think this could be just the ticket for what people hopefully are looking for. That's amazing. So how can people find out more, Jess?
So you can head to our website, parentingforfaith.org.uk, and we've got a section on Deeper Rooted Lasting specifically, but we've also got this new exciting web platform called BRF Online. So Parenting for Faith exists within BRF Ministries, and alongside us, we've got Anna Chaplaincy and Messy Church and BRF Resources. But there's this platform, which is also available in an app as well. So we've taken all of our courses. We've got lots of courses and resources that we've stuck onto this platform, made it into bite-sized videos that you can sit and watch. Like, they're like 5 minutes long, when you've got like 5 minutes somewhere in the day. But head to that website, BRF Online. And we've got a section called Deeper Rooted Lasting on there as well. So we've got a Deeper Rooted Lasting course, which is kind of aimed at people who directly work with children and young people. Like, what does it look like? What are the tips we can use? What are the easy wins to try and help resource our work? And then there's a church leaders guide, which you'll see my face again. But it's a shorter course, just looking at, like, what are the little small things that we can do? And we've interviewed some church leaders and some children's workers and things like that. So I'd say head there. We run a weekly podcast. So if you want to know a little bit more, then we have a weekly podcast too.
Amazing. And we'll be sharing lots of updates on our Board of Education social media pages as well. So follow us on there and we'll be sharing what we've been up to with the churches that we're working with. And also, excitingly, Jess is going to be joining us at our Children's Ministry Conference in February, and will be one of our speakers there. So we can't wait to meet you in person at that event, and hopefully before as well.